ROV, your favorite sport channel here on YouTube, where we bring you nothing but the best when it comes to soccer or football, as some people will choose to call it. We do pre-game, post-game analysis. We do prediction into most of the games that are played, and most of the times the predictions that we do give, we get the results right. Yes, we also talk about interviews by some of the managers and then the players across most of the major leagues in Europe. This channel is proudly sponsored by Valida Rose Realty. Valida Rose Realty is an expert when it comes to real estate in the SDG area. If you're a new family, if you belong to the senior class, or if you are even new to Canada and you are looking to own a home here in the SDG area, you can reach Valida Rose Realty on 416-317-5777. 416-317-5777. And Valida Rose Realty is going to help you in acquiring that new home you have always been dreaming about. Also, if you want to send money back home to your friends, relatives, and then family, I'm going to recommend the Lemfi app to you. Yes, Lemfi is one of the best app when it comes to sending money back home. Once you send money back home, your family, friends, and then relatives can receive the money instantly. There is no hidden charges anywhere. You can also use my promo code RAFSJ for you to get a $20 cashback bonus whenever you send the money. RAF, RAPH, SJ, 4 as in the number 4, U for umbrella. And I'm going to put this code in the description box down whenever you are watching this video so that you can use my promo code to get a $20 cashback bonus. So the weekend is dawning upon us once again, and we have some interesting games that are going to happen in most of the major leagues across Europe, and we are going to look at some of them. The managers have spoken, players have spoken. Some players are injured and they are going to miss the weekend round of games. We are going to look at all that. What are the possible outcomes that are going to happen this weekend? Are we going to have some upsets? We have some early kickoffs, but we are going to look at all these. But we are going to touch on the major leagues, the interesting games that are going to happen across Europe over the weekend. And first of all, as we are going to begin with the English Premier League. Yes, that's the most hottest and the most interesting league in Europe. I know this is debatable, but personally, from a personal point of view, I think the English Premier League um, has no competition when it comes to the leagues in Europe. And on Saturday, we have an early kickoff that is between Brentford and then Manchester United. When you look at Brentford this season, they have had a mixed form throughout the season. They have won two of their games, they have drawn two, and then also lost one. Before this game, the coach of Manchester United, Ruben Amorim, said Ahmed Diallo is going to miss this game simply because of a bereavement. So they have sidelined him. They have given him time to deal with such issues. And you know, players have emotions. So if he's not in the right frame of mind, I don't think it's going to be best for him to be involved in that game. So a player like Ahmed Diallo is going to miss that game. He's not traveling to Brentford. So Brentford will be facing Manchester United over the weekend. And in the last 5 games that both teams have played, we have Manchester United winning 3 out of those 5 games, one ending in a draw, and then the other one ending in a win for Brentford. So Brentford with Thomas Frank were able to win in their last game against Manchester United last season, whereby they won by 4 goals to 3. And if you check the scorers, um, you have Luke Shaw scoring an own goal. We also had um, Weiser, who is now in Newcastle, also scoring a goal over there. So this is going to be an interesting game. And if you watch previous videos, I've always said that Manchester United, or Ruben Amorim to be specific, does very well when it comes to playing with the big teams. But when it comes to the small teams, sometimes he always flatters to deceiver. And this is what I'm seeing in this game. In this game, I think Manchester United, with the shape that they are having, they are going to really struggle in this game because they are playing with a 3-back system, and you have Brentford who are playing in a five-back system. They really gave Chelsea a tough time when Chelsea faced them at in the game earlier on. So Brentford, I think, are going to either win this game or get a draw at least from this game. And Manchester United, after winning their last game against Chelsea and then pushing their weight high, I think for there's going to be a reality check for them, and then they are going to now come back to um, where they belong to in the past few seasons. Yes, I don't think Manchester United, Ruben Amorim and his boys have what it takes. Yes, you might say in the last game they piled so much pressure on Chelsea, but that's Ruben Amorim and Chelsea. Whenever Manchester United is especially playing at Old Trafford, they find a way, some way, somehow to beat Chelsea. So it's understandable. But returning back to Brentford, I think there's going to be a very difficult game for them, and I am tipping Brentford to win this game or either end in a draw. If I am to call out for a scoreline, I think Brentford are going to win this game by 3 goals to 1. And it's going to be an emotional one for Brian Mbemo as well. He's returning to his former camping ground where he used to play for Brentford. And it's going to be an emotional one for him. I'll not be surprised. I'm not going to put it past him if he scores a goal. But at the end of the game, I'm going to tip Brentford winning or edging it over Manchester United in that game. The second game we have here is the Chelsea versus the Brighton game. So Chelsea are returning home after a poor run of form in the last few games where they lost to Bayern Munich and also lost to Manchester United in the league. But in their last game, they were able to win against Lincoln City in the Carabao Cup. I see Chelsea winning this game because they needed that game against Lincoln City to be able to rejuvenate themselves. And sometimes, as a football club or even as players, you need to play against the lower league sides to be able to kickstart or to be able to rejuvenate or pump up yourself up there. And that win against Lincoln City, I think, is going to give Chelsea the edge over Brighton. Brighton are not doing so bad this season. They also won their last game in the Carabao Cup, whereby they were able to win 6-0. That was a very huge scoreline in there. They were able to win 6-0. But Chelsea returning to the Stamford Bridge. Already we know Cole Palmer is going to miss this game because of injury. So it's just a groin injury. And the manager in there, that is Enzo Maresca, is saying that it's not something that's going to require um, a surgery, but he needs rest. So he's going to be out of this game and he's going to return after the next international break. So Brighton have been shipping in quite a few number of goals this season. It hasn't been too good for them. And if you look at the last 5 games that have been played between both sides, Chelsea have won 3 and then 2 have gone in favor of Brighton and Hove Albion. Brighton and Hove Albion winning the last Premier League game they played earlier this year in February by 3 goals to 0. And Chelsea having Rhys James fit, having players like Badiashile coming back, Fofana, who is now fully fit and is playing games. They also have Robert Sanchez, who had a red card in the United game, and he's back in this game. I'm not going to put it past Chelsea to win this game, but it's going to be a very difficult one for them because, Brighton are a very boogie side whenever they play or whenever they face the big teams in England. So Chelsea, I think, are going to win this game, even in the absence of Cole Palmer. I see Enzo Maresca mapping up a strategy to be able to face Brighton and Hove Albion. Yes, you have players like Marco Correa, you have players like Moises Caicedo facing their former team, and they will have to uh, put on a performance to be able to win against Brighton and Hove Albion. So for this game, I'm just going to give it to Chelsea, not because I am a Chelsea fan, but I am saying this because of the form of both teams, and I think Chelsea are going to edge it over Brighton and Hove Albion. There is also another interesting game happening in London where Crystal Palace are facing Liverpool. These two sides met earlier on this season in the uh, Community Shield. Yes, where Liverpool as the Premier League winners and then facing Crystal Palace, Oliver Glasnach, Crystal Palace, the FA Cup winners. And that game ended in a stalemate. It had to go into penalties, and Crystal Palace were able to edge it over Liverpool. in this game, there are records that are probably going to be broken. These two teams are unbeaten. For Liverpool, they do have 100% record, a perfect record where they haven't even lost a single game this season. For Crystal Palace, they haven't lost a single game this season, but it's not a perfect record. They have had about two draws and then won two games. So we are going to see how this game is going to go. In either way, one team is going to lose the record. If Liverpool wins, it means Liverpool keep their perfect record, which is 100% winning all their six games, and it means that Crystal Palace are going to lose their unbeaten status. They are going to be lose their unbeaten status. If Crystal Palace wins, it means Liverpool are going to lose their unbeaten status, whereas Crystal Palace keeps their unbeaten status. If it ends in a draw as well, it means Liverpool are not going to have that 100% run. That is the perfect win throughout all their games, and that's what they are going to lose. So we're going to see how that game is going to end. Liverpool do not have a very good defense. It has been shaky for them. They are always winning games during the closing moments of games from the 80th minute onwards. That's when they are winning their games, and they are always winning games by close margins, just a goal difference. So it's going to be a very difficult game. This is the case whereby Crystal Palace also have a very good defense, and in as much as they have McGahey, Liverpool also have a strong uh, attack. But unfortunately for Liverpool, um, Hugo Ekitike is not playing this game because he had a red card when they met Southampton during midweek. So Liverpool will be missing Hugo Etikite. Sorry, I find it difficult pronouncing that name. But they still have Alexander Isak, they have Cody Gakpo, Mohamed Salah, and Co. who will be featuring in for Liverpool. So this game is going to be a tight one. I'm going to call it for a draw, a straight draw, because I know Liverpool wouldn't want to lose their unbeaten streak, same as Crystal Palace wouldn't also want to win their unbeaten streak. So both teams are going to share the spoils in that game. I see this game ending in a draw, but one thing that is certain in this game is the goals are going to flow because Liverpool have been leaking in goals so far this season. In the past five games, the past five meetings of these two teams, Liverpool have won two, Crystal Palace have won two, and then one has ended in the draw. So I'm going to call it out for a straight draw in this game, a scoring draw, maybe a 2-2 or a 3-3. It's going to be a very difficult encounter. And then we also have Leeds United facing Bournemouth. So Leeds United are playing at home, returning from the Championship into the Premier League, and they are facing Bournemouth, who are also flying high in the league this season. Where in the past five games, Leeds United have won two, sorry, they have won three, and then Bournemouth have won two in the past five games. The last time they played in the Premier League, Bournemouth were able to win 3-1 against Leeds United. When you look on the table, Bournemouth are sitting fourth with 10 points, whereas Leeds United are sitting 12th with 7 points. So it's not looking too good for Bournemouth. And I think, sorry, it's not looking too good for Leeds. And I think Bournemouth going away from home, the minimum they could get from this game is going to be a draw. Yes, when you look at the pre-game interview by their manager Andoni Ariola, he was asked about their unique style, just like PSG. They have a unique style when it comes to kicking off. He said, yes, that's something they have. He has also introduced in the Premier League with his team, and we see how that unique style is going to end for them in this season. If they are able to continue with it and probably even end in the top four, then that's a good job done by Andoni Ariola. So I'm going to call for a win or a draw for Bournemouth because Leeds United, um, in their past five games in the league, they have been able to they have been able to win one, they've drawn one, and then lost the remaining three. So I'm not going to put it past Bournemouth to win against Leeds United. All right. And then there is also Manchester City playing against Burnley. And in this, the pre-game analysis, the interviews by the managers, Pep Guardiola was talking about the availability of Erling Haaland and how ready he is for this game. Look, if I'm to tell you one thing, I don't see anything rather than Erling Haaland scoring a hat trick. That's three goals in this game. So if you are someone that loves predictions, if you are someone that's into numbers, I'm telling you, watch out for Erling Haaland. He's going to at least get a hat trick in this game. Scott Parker has spoken. He has also admired the Manchester City project, where they came from, where they are now, and how they are doing. How Pep has been performing, but just that in the past in the past 1 or 2 seasons, things haven't been so good. But he also gave them that respect. And once Manchester City is playing at home, even though they might not have had a good start this season, I see Manchester City edging it past Burnley. There is no way Burnley will be able to stop Manchester City. And if you are someone who plays the FPL, what I'm going to tell you is, my advice for you is going to be, just put Erling Haaland in there, put him in your team. If you don't have him, try as much as possible to transfer him in, and then give him the captain's advance, because I see him scoring a hat trick during this weekend. There's also Nottingham Forest playing against Sunderland, and we also have Tottenham Hotspur playing against Wolves. Yes, I looked at the past 5 meetings between Tottenham Hotspur and then Wolves, and it seems Tottenham Hotspur have not been laughing on the right side of their match whenever they face Wolves. But I think things are going to change this time around. Yes, Wolves don't have a manager that I think is helping them. They are languishing down at the bottom of the table in the Premier League, whereas Tottenham Hotspur are flying high. They are in the top four in there. So when you look at the last 5 games played between both teams, Tottenham Hotspur have not been able to win even a single game. 4 have gone in favor of Wolves. 1 has ended in a draw. The last time they played in the Premier League, Wolves were able to win 4-2 against Tottenham Hotspur. But Tottenham Hotspur, with Thomas Frank in the helm of affairs, I think they are going to edge it past Wolves this time around. I think this time around is the time that they are going to smile in there. So that is it for the games that are going to be played tomorrow in the Premier League. And there are other games that are going to be played. You also have on Sunday, we do have Aston Villa facing Aston Villa are facing Fulham. Aston Villa, Unai Emery was able to win his game in midweek in the Europa League. One thing I am suspecting is Unai Emery, being an Europa League expert and looking at how he has started in the Premier League, he might probably maybe choose to forego the Premier League and then concentrate much more on the Europa League, win the Europa League, and then make a name for himself. Because we all know that's what he has been doing whenever he was in Spain with Sevilla and then the likes of Villarreal. So they have had a very shaky start in the Premier League where they haven't been doing too well. But with Marco Silva's Fulham, they have also had a here and there start in the Premier League. So in this game, I think tactically it's going to be very difficult for both teams. Their managers are very good, but Aston Villa playing in midweek in the Europa League, which is quite difficult, and now coming to play again on Sunday, probably they might be able to salvage a draw in this game against Fulham. But Fulham will be looking at winning this game. And there is also on Sunday we have the Newcastle United game. Newcastle playing at St. James's Park against Arsenal. So Newcastle, after selling 1 or 2 of their players and then bringing in some good players, also having been too good, I think it's going to take time for them to gel. Eddie Howe, as we all know, is a very good manager, but the players will need to play for a while before they will be able to gel. Arsenal, title contenders, as we always call them for the past few seasons, but they always bottle it up. Yes, I have a lot of Arsenal friends, and we always show them that yes, they are more or less like um, a bottling company, Coca-Cola. Yes, so Arsenal will be traveling to St. James's Park to face Newcastle United. Newcastle United, they haven't had too good a start in the Premier League. When you look at the last 5 games both teams have played, 3 have ended in wins for Newcastle United, whereas 2 has ended in wins for Arsenal. On the table, you have Arsenal sitting second with 10 points with 5 games played, whereas you have Newcastle sitting 13th with 6 points, which is very bad for a team like Newcastle who have uh, signed all these players. You one would think they will be performing better than that. So I'm going to call for. It's going to be a very difficult call, yes. But if I have to predict this game, I think it's going to end in a draw. Yes, I think it's going to end in a draw. Arsenal have the players. Yes, they are doing well. Um, they have the likes of, they have some injuries here and there. Yes, Saka, I don't think is fully fit. Odegaard, I think will be returning, but I don't see him starting because he's just coming back from injury. So I think Arteta is going to be cautious in that aspect to at least give him a bit of time to warm up back into the game. So apart from that, they do have the firepower up front. They have Eze, they have Madueke, who I also hear is likely to miss this game because of an injury. But they still have the likes of Leonardo Trossard, Martinelli, who has been coming from the bench and then scoring goals. So probably I'm going to go for a draw in this game for Arsenal facing Newcastle. Okay, and then the last game is going to be on Monday, where you have Everton facing West Ham United. So that's David Moyes facing his former team, West Ham United. So West Ham with Graham Potter have not been doing good this season, and I don't see any way Graham Potter is going to beat West Ham's. Uh, I don't see them beating West Ham in there, so I'm going to go for a straight win for West Ham over. Uh, sorry, a straight win for Everton over West Ham. Now let's quickly jump into the Spanish La Liga. So in the Spanish La Liga, we have some interesting games. Earlier on, we had Barcelona playing yesterday, where they did win 3-1 against Real Oviedo, playing away, and they were able to get the result in the winning 3-1 against Real Oviedo. And we have an interesting game in Atletico Madrid playing at home in the Wanda Metro they are playing at home and they are going to play against Real Madrid. So it is the Madrid derby where these two Madrid these two Madrid teams have so much history between them. In the last 5 games played between the two teams, you do have Real Madrid winning 2 and then 3 ending in a draw. I remember the last time they played, it was in the Champions League where the game ended in a 1-0 win for Atletico Madrid, and it had to go into a penalty shootout, and Madrid were able to edge it over Atletico Madrid. For Real Madrid, they have been doing their job. As I said, Xabi Alonso has been doing his job quietly, nicely, no gimmicks, nothing flashy. He's just doing the simple things and then he's getting the results. And I am already tipping him to win the league. Yes, I know some of you will disagree with me because it's just 5 games into the season. Why will you conclude? But looking at the job he did so far, he did back in Germany and how he has started here in Madrid, I am tipping him to win the league. He's just going to do the simple things. He's not going to do anything flashy. He's not going to do anything complex. He's just going to do the simple things. And I see him winning the league. So they are playing against Atletico Madrid, which is a Madrid derby, and Diego Simeone, he gets all the fans. He's getting all the fans to get all the players he wants, but unfortunately, he's unable to show the results on the field, which is not understandable. I don't know why he's still keeping the job. Yes, some people will say he brought them from the ditches. He has won in the past few years. He has won 2 league titles with them. He has been able to get to the Champions League final, but that is not enough. So much money has been spent on this squad, yet still he's playing most of his attacking players in a defensive role, which is not helping them. So I think they will have to move on with him if Atletico Madrid want to be um, um, league contenders in the La Liga, because it's like they are always playing third fiddle in the La Liga, where you think that they should be really be in contention for the league, but they are not able to do that. So I'm going to give Real Madrid. I'm going to give Real Madrid. I'm going to tip Real Madrid to win this game against Atletico Madrid because I don't see Diego Simeone. I don't see how serious he is. He's going to defend in this game as usual, and looking at how Mbappe has been doing so far this season, scoring goals for fun, there's no way Atletico Madrid will be able to stop Real Madrid in that game. We also touch on one game in the La Liga, which is the Villarreal versus Athletic Bilbao game. So Villarreal, in the last 5 games, in the last 5 meetings between both teams, two have ended in wins for Atletico Madrid, two have ended in draws, and then one in a win for Villarreal. And when you look at the table, Villarreal are sitting third with 13 points, and Atletico Bilbao are sitting sixth with 10 points. So both teams, they are performing fairly well. Yes, they are not. These teams are not teams that normally are in contention for the league in the La Liga, but they try to at least make it to Europe. As we know, both teams are already playing in the Champions League this season, so it's going to be an interesting game. In the Probably is going to end in a win for Villarreal because so far they are performing much more better in the La Liga this season. I think Atletico Madrid are missing the services of Nico Williams, and that's why it has been a little bit difficult for them. But the moment Nico Williams returns from injury, maybe the narrative might change in there for them. All right, and that's it for the La Liga. That's the games that we have in there. And then in the German Bundesliga, you have the Bavarians. Yes, Bayern Munich. They are playing against um, they will be playing against Werder Bremen. So far, Bayern Munich has won all 5 games of theirs in the German Bundesliga, and they are sitting on top of the German Bundesliga. Sorry, they've played 4 games in the German Bundesliga. They've won all games, and they are sitting on top. And there is no way Werder Bremen is going to stop them in this game. If you look at the past 5 meetings between the two teams, they have won 4 and then and then lost just 1. So this is just a straight call for the Bavarians winning in this game. Yes, it's a straight call for them. I'm not going to put it past them to score probably 3 goals against Werder Bremen in that game. And let's quickly jump into the French League 1. So in the French League 1, we have some interesting games happening as well. Today we have Strasbourg playing against Olympique de Marseille. Strasbourg are sitting fourth on the league with 12 points, and then you have Olympique de Marseille sitting sixth. It's quite close between the two teams, and when you look at the past 5 meetings between the two teams, you have Strasbourg winning just one, 4 ending in draws, and then Olympique de Marseille haven't even won a single game in their past 5 meetings between the two teams. Strasbourg are doing good so far this season. I call them the Chelsea annex. Yes, Chelsea annex because you know the ownership, the blue coal ownership, they have a hand in whatever is happening in Strasbourg. So they have some good players in there, the likes of the goalkeeper Mike Penders. Recently, they acquired the services of Ben Chilwell. They have Kenji Paez and co, and they are doing very good in the League 1. So when you look at the table, they are sitting 12th. And Olympique Marseille, when you look at the past 5 meetings, Olympique Marseille haven't won a game against Strasbourg. And they do have, when with Olympique Marseille, they do have a good team as well. They have Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. They do have Hoiberg and co. They do have a very good team, being coached by Roberto Di Zerbi. So it's going to be a very difficult game. It's going to be a cagey encounter, and um, it's probably going to end in a win for Strasbourg because they are playing at home. I'm just going to give it to them simply because they have the home advantage against Olympique de Marseille. All right. Which other game are we going to touch on in the French League 1? There's also the Paris Saint-Germain playing against Auxerre. So Paris Saint-Germain lost their last game against Marseille, and I think since they are playing at home, they will want to uh, they will want to write another story. So henceforth, I think they are going to win that game against they are playing against Paris Saint-Germain are playing against, let's look at that once again. They are playing against Auxerre at home. So probably I see them winning that game simply because they lost their last game. And once they are playing at home, Luis Enrique is probably going to map up a strategy for them to win in that game. Let's touch on the last league. Then we'll be done for today's episode. So in the Italian Serie A, you have Como playing against Cremonese. So Como, led by Cesc Fabregas, who is the manager of the side, they are playing at home to Cremonese. So Cremonese, they do have they acquired the services of Jimmy Vardy, but he still hasn't scored a goal for them. I think he's doubtful for this game. I don't know what the issue is. Maybe it's an injury for him in there. So Cremonese are sit on the table with 8 points, and then you have Como with 7 points, sitting eight. So it's a quite close call between the two teams. When you look at the past 5 games between the two teams, they have all 5 games have ended in wins for Cremonese. So Cremonese are going away, but with Seth Fabregas, with all his football intelligence, I don't think he's going to sit at home to lose at Cremonese. So I'll go for a draw in that game. And the last game we are going to touch on is the Juventus versus Atlanta game. So Juventus are playing at home against Atlanta. In the last 2 games played for Juventus, they have played in draws. They drew against Borussia Dortmund, and then they drew in the uh, Italian Cup as well. So when you look at the head-to-head between the two teams, with the last 5 games being played, you have 2 wins for Juventus, 2 ending in draws, and then Atlanta winning 1. Juventus are a better side. They have a better squad than that of Atlanta. They with the 4 games played in the Italian Serie A, they have won 10. Sorry, they have 10 points and sitting second on the league log, whereas Atlanta with 4 games played, they have 8 points, sitting fifth on the league log. So that is it for the Italian Serie A. We have some interesting games over this weekend, and we're going to look at how these games are going to end. There are some interesting and engaging encounters. There are some players that are going to miss because of injuries, some because of personal issues, so they have to be given that time for them to spend with their family. And this has been another episode of Raf on VAR, where we bring you nothing but the best when it comes to soccer or football. Yes, all you have to do for me is to like this content, like all our previous content as well, subscribe to the channel, and also put us on post notifications so that whenever content is shared, you become one of the lucky ones to see it for the first time. Yes, this channel is proudly sponsored by Valida Rose Realty, where she brings you nothing but the best when it comes to owning a home in the SDG area. So we're going to catch you again on the next episode. I don't think I did good today.